Why does everybody hate Beatrix?
Nightmare, 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 nightmare!
Although, these days I should probably be saying, why did everybody hate Beatrix? Because nowadays people are a bit torn with some of the more clear villains roaming around, but B is like Thanos. Literally inevitable. She's been a top tier ever since she came out, and she is still a top tier today. To understand what fed into Beatrix's infamous reputation, we have to first understand who she is. The hype leading up to Beatrix's release was pretty insane. She was built up as this character who was very popular in the gacha game, being the best friend of Zeta, who is already a character in the cast, and being a part of the Society, a group of complete badasses with weapon mechs and the secretive operation thing going on, with a sick storyline and very iconic characters. As the first female DLC character in Rising to actually be pulled from the granblue IP, she had a lot of hype backing her. As always, people called her their main far before she came out, and once they saw her goofy personality and rushdown playstyle in her trailers, people were even more hooked. Once Beatrix was finally dropped, we found that she's a Shoto, a basic all-rounder type of character. She's got the Fireball, meterless invincible reversal, which is very, very nice in this game, by the way. And, make it stop! Make it stop! People were quick to point out her similarities to Soul Bad Guy, with her moves Thunderbird and Riding Free. Thunderbird is a dive kick that has multiple versions. The light version leaves her safe on block, while other versions leave her plus on block, meaning she can continue to take her turn. These versions have varying counterplay, but they're mainly a tool to overwhelm your opponent and add another thing for them to worry about. Riding Free is the real demon though, trust me. We made a comparison to Soul Bad Guy's Night Raid Vortex earlier, but the nerds among us will make a comparison that it also is similar to Ino's Stroke. So you see this move, right? It has to be blocked low. That alone makes it insane as balls. Balls. All versions of this move are negative when blocked, with the EX and Ultimate versions actually being punishable. They're also quite difficult to react to unless she's doing the medium version, which is much easier to see coming. This move alone basically carries Beatrix though. I mean, there's just so much packed into it. It hits low. It's a combo tool. It's a mega combo tool if she has Delta Clock, which we'll get into. It's a neutral skip. It's slow profiling and can go under projectiles. It just has so much frickin' going for it, man. The last majorly important thing I have to talk about regarding Beatrix's kit is, of course, Delta Clock. If Beatrix either gets off her command grab, yes, she has one, or is at a low enough HP, 30% or lower, she gets access to Delta Clock. This allows her to basically combo her EX skills by adding a slowdown effect to them on hit. This leads to, of course, new combo routes, and in my opinion, the most egregious comeback mechanic in the game. I have literally never seen anything like EX Riding Free into SSBA in my life. Everyone on their mama is free to this, bro. Don't even try to say I'm just ass, because Gamera looked Toro dead in the eyes for about 20 seconds. They both knew this was gonna happen, and Gamera got it off anyways. B clearly has a fantastic kit, but ops like to mention that she doesn't have the greatest buttons, which is true. But let's be so for real, it does not matter when you have her type of special moves. And her 5H and 5L are fantastic buttons. Yes, she does kind of suffer in terms of good mid-range pokes compared to other characters, and her sweep is pretty dang punishable on block too. Her neutral skips and turn resets also straight up have counterplay if you're just letting them rip all the time, so against a great opponent you'll have to overwhelm them and adapt to your game plan to the player that you're facing. However, this did not used to be the case. Let's take it back to when Beatrix first came out. May 23rd, 2024. I don't think I've seen a DLC character drop and the opinions be this negative online for granblue. The comparisons I immediately think of are when I played Slayer or Victor on their launch. Characters that are extremely easy to pick up, do a shit ton of damage, and have very simple game plans that will take most people off guard, especially newer players. Like look, we've got the GOAT Diaphone saying that she's one of the most gorilla brain dead easy to play characters that he's ever played at the time that she came out.
This is the most ignorant character in like any fighting game. This game is not real, bro.
This opinion was everywhere. The true successor to Soul Bad Guy, Gorilla Girl, had descended upon the skies. But we know what Beatrix does. She's pretty damn strong, but I'd definitely rather fight a Beatrix over a Grimnir and Versusia in today's era. The thing is, you know how Riding Free is negative in all versions? Yeah, well, back then the medium version was plus. meaning she would hit you with this low profile, low hitting, neutral skipping craziness and still have her turn regardless of if you block the move or not. Of course, the medium version is a lot easier to react to, but when paired with all her other methods of extending her turn, her other special moves, and even other versions of riding free, this move becomes extremely hard to deal with. And it's not like the reward for calling it out was actually good. I mean, a lot of people were just waiting and DPing it to deal with her other options at the same time. So, because of how easy and strong people considered Beatrix at the time, the people's cries were actually heard by the devs. This was insane. A month later, they issued an emergency patch just to nerf Beatrix. This is unheard of for granblue and Japanese fighting game devs, so this was a big deal. So what else changed in the patch other than medium riding free not being plus anymore? Because that alone made her one of the most frustratingly brain-dead characters to fight at the time. She off the rip came out with huge damage, so all around the board her damage numbers on special moves got toned down, and her neutral skip specials were air blockable now. Ultimate riding free also went from safe to punishable on block. You know, for my money, these were some pretty welcome changes at the time, especially no longer that bullshit being plus, because she just had way too much going for her. Now, if you were a B player, this may have felt like pretty significant nerfs, but the worst one came in patch 1.5, where they made the visual indicator for how difficult she was to play change from 4 stars to 5 stars. In all seriousness though, these nerfs were pretty sizable and did affect how you play the character, as just throwing out riding free for free turns wasn't as effective on its own anymore, and her damage had taken a decent hit. The thing is, with all these nerfs, it became evident over time that she went from top tier to still top tier. This character had basically just had some really broken things about her toned down, but still had many great things going for her. So over time, Beatrix became this staple of online play, not receiving many more changes, and stayed an extremely strong, consistent character who can always perform at a top level. She was always popular because of her accessible playstyle, looks, goofy personality, her ass cheek always popping out in the and her strength as well. As for why Beatrix was so hated, well, riding free being plus was just crazy, so let's just get that straight. Those emergency nerfs were definitely deserved. But it basically came down to just her being so simple to pick up and perform on, and having so many neutral skips in her kit that were really hard to punish effectively, or at a point in time, hard to contest at all. Nowadays, there's a lot more nuance to fighting a Beatrix, since you can just play to block riding free, and people have more counterplay steadily and readily available for when they fight Beatrix. She's always kind of had that gorilla glue eater character, spam special moves, and that shit just works kind of vibe to her though. If there's any real reason to hate her nowadays, it's because she forces you to change how you play neutral by making you watch your toes, because riding free will always hit you low, and overwhelming you with her different approach options. So yeah, that's why everybody hates, or once hated, Beatrix. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video and want to see more granblue content, make sure to leave a subscription on my channel, and I also stream on Twitch if you like live streams. So yeah. Bye!